Okay, let's get back to our boy James Fox. He's going to be re-releasing the documentary for a very good reason. New revelations, new witnesses have come forward in the Varginha case, and one of them is a doctor. Let me summarize this. In a recent episode of Reality Check with Ross Coulthart, filmmaker James Fox discussed his documentary Moment of Contact and the now legendary 96 Varginha, Brazil incident. The Varginha case, often called Brazil's Roswell, centers on a series of extraordinary events that took place in January of 96 in Varginha when several residents claimed to have seen strange creatures and a crashed UFO. Witnesses described small, brown, and oily skinned being with large red eyes, one of which was reportedly captured by the military. So this clip I'm going to show is James was on Reality Check with Ross, and he talks about first the police officer who was involved with this, who actually like recovered the being, and while recovering it, he ended up getting like scratched or something by the being, and something really, really bad happened. So I think that's what this first clip is. And then it also goes into the new witness that is going to come forward. This is the important part. The new witness that is coming forward, a neurosurgeon who actually worked on trying to save the life of this crashed alien. So this is a lot to process right now. Full disclosure, James sent me this interview maybe a few months ago, and it was one of these like, I'm just showing you because you're a friend, you're a colleague. This is what's going to be coming out in a couple months, and now it's here, and the documentary will have a full interview with this neurosurgeon. But we're going to get a little taste of that in this interview with Ross and James. Should we give this a watch?
Let's give it a watch.
All right, let's find it. Might be a little on the longer side, but definitely worth it.
Oh, definitely.
There's a police officer, Marco Eli Cherezi,
Yep.
a young police officer. He actually reportedly captures a similar creature.
Just a couple blocks away. A couple hours later, just a couple blocks away.
Is it the same creature?
One would only assume that it had to be. It was like 2 blocks away, a couple hours later.
What does he do with it?
So it's interesting because Marco Cherezi was a military officer, and Eric Lopes, also another military officer. They're both friends. Marco apparently was off for the night, and they get this he gets an APB that, hey, there's something really unusual out lingering, to go capture whatever this thing is. They didn't say it was an ET or anything. It was something very unusual. So those were the orders given to Eric Lopes. Eric calls up his buddy who is off for the night. He says, hey, you want to join me? I've got this crazy mission of looking, So Marco Cherezi jumps in the car with him, and off they go. And they actually see this creature 2 blocks from where the girls encountered it just a couple hours later, running across the road. So Marco Cherezi, without a moment's hesitation, just jumps out of the car and goes and grabs it. And in the process of grabbing it, and it didn't put up much of a fight, it was pretty feeble, and he put it in the back of the car, and he got a little scratch under his arm, and he got some weird oil on his skin. They go to one little tiny hospital. It was more like a clinic, and the doctor apparently came out and took one look and said, I don't know what that is, but you're not bringing it here. So then they go off to regional hospital, and they drop it off at regional hospital.
Is this where Dr. Italo Venturelli comes across the being?
Exactly. Yes. Yep. So we had, up until this point, we had testimony from a military officer who we found that he took a creature from Humanitas Hospital, because it went from the first little clinic, didn't get out of the car. Then it went to regional, got out of the car, was delivered, taken indoor. In fact, I was just at regional hospital like 2 weeks ago, and I went to the front desk, the main entry point, and I said, hey, this incident, and they got a big plaque out front. This is where an ET came. It's all right out in the open. Nobody's hiding this story. Sure. And I asked the people at the desks coming into the ER, hey, Have you guys heard? Oh yeah, one of the people that was there that night still working here now.
Oh,
And
you're
they said the
kidding.
creature. No, I'm not kidding you. I swear to you. And they said, and they got a big plaque outside. I can share you a picture of it, talking about the events. But they took the ET in the back entrance. They said they did not come in the front. They took it in the back.
Did the person you spoke to, aside from Dr. Italo, did they also see the alien being?
Good question. We only had 24 more hours before we were flying home. We got the details. We got the contact information of that individual that was there that night. Don't know. Didn't have a chance to talk to them. Don't know if they.
That's what I love about this, James, is you've been coming and going from this city now for years. And each time you go back, you get more layers of factual information that corroborate what you've originally uncovered.
You got to hear, like, so now we have, for the first time ever, because we have this military police officer who we got to come forward, and he drove a creature from Humanitas to Eza military base, and then Eza Campinas, and that's when the Americans came in, right? So now, for the first time ever, we have firsthand eyewitness testimony from the lead neurosurgeon still at the hospital, who describes face-to-face contact with the live alien for 4 minutes. It's
okay,
incredible.
So at this point, James, with your permission, we're going to roll the little sizzle grab you've given us from Dr. Italo Venturelli. Here's Dr. Italo.
Meu nome é Ítalo Venturelli, estudei em São Paulo, eu fiz neurologia, neurocirurgia, fiz mais de 5.000 cirurgias. Só queria deixar essa mensagem que eu realmente vi. No dia fui ver como se eu tivesse ido ver um paciente, e não era um paciente, realmente era um alien, claramente um alien. O crânio era em forma de gota, os olhos em forma de gota. Eu fui ver um paciente, achando que era um humano. E eu vi ali um ser maravilhoso de um mundo que eu não conheço. Me pergunto se estava sofrendo, ele não estava sofrendo, se ele estava entendendo, ele estava entendendo. Muito calmo, muito tranquilo, olhou para mim como se entendesse tudo o que eu estava pensando. Eu acho bacana conversar isso, explicar para as pessoas que existem muito mais coisas do que a gente imagina. Para mim foi muito importante ver, porque eu vi a imensidão que tem esse universo, né? Não somos só nós aqui, nesse mundo tão maravilhoso, mas deve existir muitos outros, e aquele ser que estava ali é prova disso.
What I love, James, about Dr. Italo is he's very open about the fact that this being touched him. He seems quite emotional about the experience.
So, okay, I'll tell you how this came about, because it's extraordinary what happened. We knew that the live alien was at Regional Hospital. We have people that we're in touch with over more than a decade that work at both hospitals that we meet privately with every time we go to Varginha. It's always quiet, off the record. They come, and there's certain secrets they talk about during surgery, and only during surgery. So we knew, and from other testimony, that creature was it. So the other neurosurgeon who was on duty that night was his sort of protege. It was Dr. Italo and Dr. Marcos Vinicius. Dr. Marco Vinicius did a little procedure on the creature. Apparently it had some damage, some swelling, something happened. Did a little procedure on the creature, and I don't want to go into too much detail because it's an ongoing thing. And then he had a heart attack and died in 2018. Okay, so now he's gone, and his partner, who's the lead neurosurgeon, Dr. Italo, himself had a heart attack just a few months ago, and he's in the ICU, staring at the ceiling, thinking that he was going to die, and he thought, "I can't believe I'm taking this to the grave. This is not right. If I survive this, I'm going public."
Ooh,
I
boy.
know. It's big stuff. It's big
Oh.
stuff. And I also loved the section of the interview with the doctor, Venturelli, where it's later on, but he calls this being an elevated consciousness. Calm
Really
and kind. Telepathically told the doctor he was okay. This is what was wrong. A very calm elevated consciousness. He said of course, the alien in the room, but he was also in control of the room.
Yeah, that says a lot. Look at this image of him,
I
of the
know.
doctor. He is so affected by this emotionally. You can tell he's still viscerally and emotionally feels this.
Sure.
And like you said, like he is finally coming forward because he had a brush with death, and he's not going to take this to the grave with him. So you
So
know,
smart.
I do trust James did his homework on this and vetted it and everything. So we'll see. We'll see. I know that he will expand on this in the documentary Moment of Contact. We are going to show the trailer, the new trailer for it in just a little
Wonderful.
bit. But yeah, this is stunning stuff, if you ask me, about one of the most well documented cases ever recorded. And man, I just can't imagine being in that room that day. Crazy,
That's
crazy
right.
stuff.
You know, he also has the Roger Lear tapes. Roger Lear went down in 2012 or 2013 and did a bunch of research, and he too got anxious about being the possessor of this information. And James Fox has those tapes.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe there'll be something about that in the redo of it.
Oh, there might.
Mhm.
There might be. Yeah. Hint,
I'd love
hint,
to
guys.
know.
Interesting stuff. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up during this interview with Ross Coulthard and James Fox is you mentioned earlier, Eric Davis. Since we're on the topic of like UAP crashes and whatnot, Eric Davis apparently was another person who came into contact with a possible uh, craft or something like that. And they talked about this. James, they talked about Eric Davis's connections to these topics, and James provided an interview clip with Eric Davis that he did as well. So I thought we would give that a quick watch too. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
There are people who are operating under TSSCI, top secret compartmented clearances, who are forbidden from speaking about this. And this is something that when you went to Washington, you've also, in this Moment of Contact film, you've also gone to Washington, D.C. and covered the congressional hearings where multiple witnesses have given evidence of what they know, what they saw. One of them is Dr. Eric Davis. He's a friend of both of us. He's an astrophysicist. He's been heavily involved in investigating paranormal UAP phenomena for many decades. He worked with Robert Bigelow at the National Institute of Discovery Science. He was part of the BASS investigations, the federal government funded investigations into the subject. This is what he told you in this exclusive interview.
Where's the proof? We have alien spaceships in our possession. Mm-hmm. We have bodies. Where and why can't I get the specifics to verify those claims?
If the President of the United States issued an executive order that absolves me of all of my TSSCI NDAs, NDAs are non-disclosure agreements. Those are the agreements we have to sign for every compartment in our SCI clearances. So if the president waives or absolves my obligation to those NDAs, and I get subpoenaed by Congress, somebody on Capitol Hill, some committee, either in the Senate or the House or the both, to reveal everything I know that I learned from my investigations, both unclassified and classified, into the legacy UAP, crash retrieval, and hardware reverse engineering and NHI programs, I would do so. If I could be waived from that or absolved in some fashion by presidential order, and if Congress subpoenas me, yes, I would go and tell them everything I know.
Dr. Eric Davis makes it very clear there, James, that he knows stuff. He, as you know, investigated the claims that there was this legacy UAP, NHI, non-human intelligence craft retrieval program. And he became aware, he's testified before, that there has been this ongoing reverse engineering program. What he's saying, though, is very significant because he's essentially saying if the president, if Donald Trump was merely to say, overnight, I can waive those secrecy orders, I can waive those NDAs, he, Dr. Eric Davis, and presumably many other witnesses could come forward. So how significant is Eric Davis's comment?
Well, it's extremely significant. And, I asked them those specific questions because I feel the frustration among the community, among people that have seen, for instance, Dave Grush back in 2023 making these extraordinary claims and not really providing publicly the extraordinary evidence needed to verify those claims. So I'm constantly thinking as a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, how to address those issues. Okay, so you've got someone with all these clearances and you signed NDAs. How do we circumvent that? So I've been asking a lot of people like Eric Davis, would you be willing, provided under the right circumstances, we make a plea to President Trump, whoever the president is, the president of the United States, wave the magic wand, provide immunity, which they can do immediately. Would you testify under oath to a bipartisan group of lawmakers and give the details needed to verify the claims? And they're all saying yes. So let's do it. And if there's nothing to it, then hey, you got nothing to hide. You imagine it's like, okay, there's nothing to see here. Fair enough. Pass the act, pass the bill. The disclosure, UAP Disclosure Act, like pass it.
Pass it. I love that.
Pass it, or just do the darn executive order. Let's just do an order and move it on and give one to Lukatsky too, give one to Grush, pass them out like Halloween candy.
It's like Oprah. You get a subpoena and you get a subpoena and you get a subpoena.
I'm going to volunteer my services to be the subpoena master.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So I'm really excited for Moment of Contact.
I am too.
Let's watch the trailer really quick.
Okay.
Is that cool?
So much fun.
And then I think someone might be joining us in just a second too. But let's go ahead and play the trailer for Moment of Contact.
All right.
New revelations. You guys got to check it out when it comes out in December.
And a huge thanks to James for letting us play it.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, James Fox, wherever you are. Here we go.
Have you been exposed to undeniable confirmation of a non-human intelligence craft?
There is something out there, and we should know as the people what it is.
Do you believe that the federal government is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public?
100%.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
Non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
For the first time in history, the names of alleged companies and gatekeepers analyzing recovered alien technology are being exposed.
Are any of you willing to name specific individuals?
Dr. James Ryder at Lockheed, Glenn Gaffney, CIA.
For decades, we've heard allegations of the retrieval of objects of alien origin.
In 1933, some disc-shaped object crashed.
It was not anything from this earth.
A UFO crashed in Kingman.
Didn't drop out of the sky. It had to come in on an angle.
The feeling I had during the encounter was like no type of aircraft I've ever seen before.
I saw the evidence. It's a crash retrieval, there's a craft, and there's alien bodies.
But one of the most well-documented UFO crash retrieval cases involving live aliens took place in Varginha, Brazil.
It is a crashed vehicle.
Dois seres extraterrestres foram capturados, depois, posteriormente, foram levados para o hospital.
Meu nome é Carlos de Souza.
Meu nome é Cátia Xavier.
Meu nome é Liliane Silva.
Meu nome é Valquíria Silva.
Em 1996, eu vi uma criatura estranha ali.
Fui até o local. Quando o general de brigada falou para mim que era assunto de segurança nacional, ele morre por aí, acabou.
Deu para ver nitidamente. Era um charuto voando.
Eu levou descendo, eu nem quis tocar, mas eu tinha um sino aqui na barra. Levaram para Campinas e Campinas levaram para os Estados Unidos.
Now, for the first time in history,
nunca vi caso assim.
We have the most compelling first-hand testimony.
Todo mundo surpreso. Assim, qualquer diz que ia sofrer uma punição muito severa.
Of communication with a live alien in captivity.
Aqui, ó. Foi aqui. Os olhos eram como se fosse uma gota de água,
How much time did he spend with the alien in the room?
3-4 meses.
Damn, that's how you cut a trailer, baby.
That is, isn't it? Yeah.
Crazy
I also
stuff.
love what happens. You're watching this neurosurgeon talk now. This is something that is possible in America if we would let down the government secrecy around it. Brazil's government is so much more open most of the time. It's not perfect. And of course, they did let us get in there at some point, both at Colares and I think at Varginha, and take stuff. And of course, it got black boxed. But you're watching a community and a group of people unafraid to speak truth to power on a sensitive subject.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, I had to reschedule our interview with Tiago Ticelli, who, went to the most recent Brazilian UFO hearing that took place. So, you're right. You're right. I think we're just scratching the surface of UFOs when it comes to Brazil. And America always sees itself as the example for everyone else. I think Brazil is going to be, and Canada are the examples of what we should be doing.
And France. I'd throw France in there with them.
Japon, right? Did I get that
Japon.
right? Japon. Love it. Love it. Well, I talked to James Fox this morning, and I asked him if we could play the trailer, and he said absolutely. But that's not it. He also wanted to send a message to our incredible live chat and to everyone watching. So, guys, from James Fox to your eyes and your ears, he wanted to send this message out and kind of just break down all of this for you guys and so you can get a better understanding of it. So here is an exclusive video message from the man himself, James Fox, to you guys here at Somewhere in the Live Stream. So let me get that pulled up.
Enjoy it.
And enjoy.
Hello, everybody. It's James Fox here. Wanted to make a couple quick comments on tonight's event that Ryan Sprague's putting on. One, I guess I'll address the Eric Davis issue first. And I did that. I asked him that question because, I feel the frustration from people within the community and people within, mainstream perspectives as to making these extraordinary claims and not providing, at least publicly, the details needed to verify those claims. So I wanted to basically create an environment that would circumvent that. And one could imagine having 6, 8, 10 more of people like Eric Davis all saying the same thing. And then it would be on the executive branch, whoever had the ability to relieve these folks of their NDAs, and they can testify under oath to a bipartisan group of lawmakers. And it's like, hey, if you don't believe it's true, fair enough. But at least let's call their bluff. Why not? The stakes are too high. And the other thing, addressing neurosurgeon Dr. Ichilo, I've been hearing criticism out there about him because they're like, well, last year he went on the record. Yeah, that was with us. Because we talked to other doctors who saw the video and which led us back to him. And eventually enough people had come forward, not exactly publicly, but within that community. And he agreed to meet with Marco and myself over a video call. And he confessed that he'd seen the video. And when we arrived a year later, interviewing the 2 forensic pathologists that did the autopsy on the deceased military officer, Marco Chiriz, we had, which was extraordinary, by the way, they talk about for the first time, participating in the film, seeing bacteria do things they've never seen any bacteria on Earth do. It's extraordinary. I'll leave it to the forensic pathologist, and we've got a full autopsy report now that's with comments from the forensic pathologist who looked at the tissue samples closely, Dr. Giannini. That's coming out. But Dr. Italo has everything to lose and nothing to gain. He runs the Department of Neurosurgery at Regional Hospital today. And he's putting it all on the line. I think, his friend that was participated in the event as well, Marcos Vinicius, died of a heart attack in 2018. And then he had a heart attack. And he was thinking to himself, like, as he's staring at the ceiling in the ICU, I'm going to take this story to the grave. And he just decided to go all out. And he did it on the fly. When we met with him at Regional Hospital, he snuck us in the back gate. And he just decided, screw it. I'm going to reveal everything. And he's willing to take a public lie detector test tomorrow. I asked him that. And there's more to come on that. And other doctors.
All right. There you
I'm
go,
with Pat
guys.
Gallagher. This steps ahead of Age of Disclosure for me.
Oh,
and it's
God,
the testing. I cannot wait to hear the details of the testing on the bacteria.
Yeah, same. Now, I will be watching Age of Disclosure.
Me too. Me
you
too.
have to. If
Because
you're
it has to be done.
But it is so outdated at this point, and that's very unfortunate. I know a lot of hard work went into that, and probably a lot to get the interviews that they did. But
and I do think it has a place, Ryan. It might be outdated for us, but remember, we're like at the top of a little mountain of knowledge on this. Not a mountain, but you know what I mean. We're a certain group that spends a lot of time in this topic, and the rest of the planet may not. And so from that perspective, to watch through Age of Disclosure all of the government people come out, I think I'll have a powerful place.
Yeah, you're right. Like, these are all pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
And the bigger picture is finding truth to the UFO phenomenon.
Right.
Whether it's coming from Brazil, whether it's coming from America, Canada, whether it's coming because of one UFO crash in Brazil, or if it's coming from all of these legacy programs, apparently from these people who worked on them. Like, it all has a place. So, look, we're living in the golden era of UFO documentaries. So let's be, the 80s were pretty good. I'm not going to lie. The 80s were pretty damn good when it comes to UFO documentaries. But, like, things are changing and things are moving rapidly. They seem slow, but guys, like, we pushed fast forward in 2017 on the old VCR called UFO Disclosure. So,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. And it can be frustrating,
Absolutely.
but think back less than 10 years ago when silence was what we had. The occasional FOIA document, somebody would get hold of a little tiny something. And now where we are today, do not lose sight of the progress, despite the fact that it doesn't go as fast to true truth as we would like.
Absolutely. Don't lose sight. That is the perfect way to put it. I love that. I love that. Thank you, James Fox. Thank you so much for that message, man. If you're watching, we truly do appreciate it. And we cannot wait to see Moment of Contact. No, I don't think there's a specific date yet, but it will be in December. It'll be re-released on streaming platforms. So keep a lookout for that. I'll keep everyone posted as well. James will be coming back on the show to talk all about it. And I'm sure we'll have a lot more to break down after seeing the actual documentary. That's for sure.
So exciting.